got a question for you today.
Oh God,
Have you ever been burnt out?
I'm burnt out now.
You are not. The reason I'm asking you that question is because were you really burnt out, or are you avoiding, or were you avoiding the hard stuff?
Well, maybe both.
Mm.
Um, it's hard to know if I've been burnt out because how do you know that you've hit rock bottom? Because I think for me, being burnt out, that's rock bottom, don't you think? It's a version of rock bottom.
Yep.
Like you have to, like, you get to the point where you're burnt out, uh, you're no good to anyone, everyone, including yourself and your business. You're not doing anything right, and you're at a crossroads when you're burnt out. So, uh, I think my version of burnt out, yeah, I've been there a couple of times, I think,
Mm.
and it was like a complete smack in the face. And I think the one thing that I'm proud of is I didn't stay there long, and then I make big change because the universe, whatever, life, business, puts you in a position of burnout to get your attention because you haven't been paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
So it pops you there and says, "Oi, you dumb prick, you're not listening, so I'm going to exhaust you." And make you so desperate for change, you'll do anything to claw yourself out of that situation. I've been there. And from me to you, um, I'm a nightmare when I've been there, and you've seen me there a few times. So, mwah, thank you for supporting me through burnout. What a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. I have seen you be there a couple of times. And I think I've been there
What's
too.
it
And
like
um
as a passenger to Jay's burnout?
let's say I've got good coping mechanisms around it. And I think one of the things that I feel is good to be is calm. Um,
Because I'm not.
but I think and I think it's a good conversation because when you're around people that are like that, and I think we've all, whether you've got a partner and they're like that, whether you're like that and they're having to put up with you, whatever it might be, I feel like you've got to learn to deal with that person in a way, but also sometimes it needs some home truths. But there's also part of it that you're right, when you hit rock bottom, I don't know why, but you get this almost burst of like energy to go, I've got to fix this. I've got to fix it. Because you have to get to that to go, I need to change.
I feel like a broken record the last 3 weeks since the start of this year.
Mm.
You know how you coach in themes? You might get a really good idea or a good strategy or a good statement, and you just repeat it because it packs so much punch. One of
Mhm.
the themes that I'm talking about a lot is motivation,
Mhm.
and how there's two elements of motivation. One is pain and one is desire.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need a mix of both, or sometimes you need just one or the other. So, to really make change and to step into a state of really high level motivation, you either need to be in a world of pain or experiencing some level of discomfort. Okay,
Yes.
like say for some people, a good example is what motivates you to get out of bed. Some people, it's pain that motivates them to get out of bed, not physical pain, emotional pain, because they go,
Mm.
"Oh, I have to get out of bed because I won't have time to get ready in order to get to the podcast." And like me, I was 5 minutes late this morning. So it's like, "Oh, I've got to drag myself out of bed." So that's a pain-based motivator to get you started. Whereas you, Marie, might go, eyes open. Good, let's get cracking. So it's a desire based motivation. But unfortunately, pain is a really fucking good motivator. So
It
some
is a good
people,
motivator.
yeah, so some people get delivered pain when they're not making change, when they're not making the choice. Because I tell you what, leading into burnout or times when I've been at the crossroads, I've convinced myself that things aren't possible. I don't have choice. It's the way it is.
Mm,
So, if you would challenge me on it, I go, but Marie, I don't have a choice.
mm,
And then you
mm.
hit rock bottom and you go, actually, I do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? Even what you just said, like getting out of bed, and some people just get up and they go, or some people, you could be like, I think everyone's been there. I think I had a longer shower this morning. It's like, oh, I needed that. Like just that moment where you need that, whether it's the hot water or someone to tell you, you need that push sometimes, don't you, to get you to that next place. So being burnt out is real, but often it comes from not doing the hard stuff. And I feel like what we mean by that, to be really clear, it's not that anyone's not working hard. I think there's always been a saying that we've heard and heard again is no one's sitting around really doing nothing. It's just the fact that you're not working on the right stuff.
So I think I definitely resonate with that because and I don't want to use the word burnout. I feel like um, it's too severe for what I feel I've experienced.
Mm,
I think, yes, I've been in bad places,
hmm.
but would I call it burnout? I don't know. Would you label it burnout? I'm happy for you to be completely honest. Do you
Well,
feel like when I have been at points where I've said to Marie, I cannot do this, I'm not doing it. If things don't change, if I don't change, I'm done. Well,
mm.
like, is it burnout or is it frustration before burnout? Like,
I
where,
think, yeah,
give
yeah,
it a
it's a good
label.
it's a good point because I feel like there's stress, sometimes you keep going. I was talking with a client this morning, and I feel like it comes from majority of the time is a financial stress or time stress that you're doing way too many hours and you're financially not where you need to be.
Yeah,
And when it comes to avoiding the hard stuff, and we've been through it like many times in our coaching world, we've been through it in our salon world, and there's five key elements that I feel like when you get these right, five to six, I feel like there's five probably the top ones that really make the business and you change. And I think the team is a mirror of the owner. So whether you've got one on team or 10 on team, they follow the leader. So if
yeah,
you're doing something that you want them to think that's acceptable, then you have to think about, is that what I really want them to do?
yeah.
So
So I think we need to
definitely,
repeat that. I
yeah.
think repeat it. And as I say, write it down. If you write one thing down, write it down on your notes today, get it printed on a t-shirt, get it tattooed on the small of your back, like your results, your finances, your mental health, your children, your life, everything is a mirror of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mirror.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, when I've been in like a place of crossroads, something has to change. It's victim mentality, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Really, I can't. It's hard. Everything else, point out, point out. It's the environment, it's the clients, it's the business, it's the money, it's the
Mm.
competition, it's the way things are, but you're not reflecting inwards and going, well, how am I showing up? What do I need to do different, better, stop doing, start doing?
That's right.
So, if you're not happy where you are, if the money's not good, if you're not getting the results,
Mm.
that's just a mirror of how you're showing up and the decisions that you are or are not making. So I think, again, coming back to the actual topic of this podcast, which I like to bastardize and go down 78 rabbit holes and forget what the topic is. What is the topic? Oh, the decisions that you're avoiding, or the hard stuff that you're avoiding to make change. Is that the topic? I think it
It
is.
is. You're not burnt out, you're avoiding the hard stuff.
The
So
hard
yeah,
stuff. So,
yeah.
um,
So I think
so
clear goals, like the that mirror of the owner, is because you're not driving clear goals home to yourself and the team. They're not going to have direction. So you've got to be really clear. When we do 90-day planning, our clients take time to get into that rhythm of doing it. But when you've nailed that, like your goals are really clear and your team know what you're working on. So the team really does mirror the owner. So I think that's majority of the time is what are you working on because you may be avoiding the hard stuff.
Yeah. I think the
Yeah.
thing is like uh the goals,
Mm,
what you're aiming towards, that destination, that thing in the future, um, it'd be it wouldn't be common that someone that is burnt out
mm.
or avoiding things, decisions that they really need to make, has a lot of clarity about where they're heading. I just don't think that's possible. It doesn't work like that.
No.
And I only said to a client yesterday that how many does she have on team? Six or seven? Uh, I said that your biggest challenge at the moment is you're clear on your vision.
Mm.
You know your goals, you know where you're heading, you know what you want this year, but the team don't know. I
No.
could ask them, what are we working on or towards? What's the business owner working on? What do we want to achieve? And I don't think they'd even be able to guess. And the fact is, majority rules, there's more of them than you. So you're going to be
That's right.
dragging their sorry asses behind you, frustrated that they're not doing what
Yeah.
they need to do today to get towards that vision. But what are they meant to do today? What is the vision?
Mm.
You're never
Mm.
going to get there, girlfriend.
That's it. And I think that's sort of the first one, but the second one's more around like what's that saying? A fish rots from its head and the
Yeah.
accountability starts at the top. So if we're not keeping the accountability up, so not just the plan, but the accountability. So that if you're not being accountable for growth, then how are your team? So when we think about, being burnt out and avoiding that hard stuff, these are the things that we need to be doing. It's the teaching the team what the clear goals are and the direction, but also accountability to get to that goal, not just you, but them. They need to be a part of that process.
I think when we think about accountability and
Mm.
making changes in our business, particularly around saying to the team, this is what we're working on, this is what we're working towards, and then you check in
Yes. Yep.
to hold them accountable. It's quite simple. It's a really simple concept. You don't have to explain to a business owner what accountability and holding your team accountable means. It's everyone knows what that is. But when it comes to accountability as a business owner, when you don't have a coach, who are you accountable to?
Yeah.
It's yourself. You're accountable to yourself, which we know is notoriously a shit strategy because we're prepared to take the path of least resistance. It's how our brains are wired, some more so than others. So the accountability to yourself to do the hard thing is shit, but then accountability to your results, to your future, to your goals. Okay. We've got distractions, we're getting shit flung our way, we're getting surprise bills, where the kids are sick, and like it's hard to stay accountable to this vision because the vision doesn't exist. It's just an idea.
Well, and I think too, a lot of salon owners, and we hear it day after day, is they'll have a list, they'll get to a day off, and they start on the easiest thing on that list and leave the hardest thing, which they really should be not avoiding, to do first. And then, like you say, you get distraction, and they're not doing the things that they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in your experience, because I know that you're pushing 70 now, and you've been a coach since World War One.
Good.
Um, any clients, salon clinic owners that you have come across that are at that crossroads, burnout, whatever you want to label it as, what do you feel is the number one
Mm,
decision that they're avoiding making, or the hard thing, I should say? What's the number one hard thing that they
mm.
are avoiding that you think do that and it'll make
Yeah.
change? And that
I would say it's in my top five, and it would be communication. So it's the lack of. So it's the one thing that, oh, I do one-on-one meetings. Oh, I've stopped doing them. I do team meetings. Oh, we haven't had time and I stopped at Christmas time and whatever it might be, there's an excuse. So the lack of communication that they have with their team or even a single operator, like sitting down and thinking about what needs to be done. And like you mentioned around accountability, they don't have the accountability, but communication to what actually needs to be done and how they're going to get there. That
Yeah.
it's just so, so important, but definitely around meeting flows, agendas that are just shocking. They're just doing things like
Housekeeping.
housekeeping, like the tins of tuna have fallen out the bin and we need to lock the window at night. And like, I think, what are you talking about that for?
Mm.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just, it needs to be more structure in the communication without a
Stru
doubt. Yeah.
Structure, but the content in the structure, high level and
High
me
level.
needle moving and uh as we always say, looking back, how did we go with that? And then where are we now? And looking forward, and based on the last week since our last meeting, what are we choosing to do today, tomorrow, this week,
Mm.
from now until our next meeting, our next catch up? So you're really intentional. But
And even
there's
having
discomfort with that though.
a
It's
lot
easy
of
to do
this.
housekeeping.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of discomfort. And even what's the actions from that meeting? I feel like they just end it and then they felt like the team were just sitting there with their arms crossed. And I said, well, involve the team in the meetings. Like have the team really clear that you're going to give them, whether it's an agenda and everyone reads a part of that agenda out. It can be on paper, iPads, whatever the communication is within the salon or clinic, but get them a part of that.
Mm,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, it's exhausting and stressful to drag people behind you. But if they don't know where you're heading, they
Mhm.
can't support you with that. And
No.
if you're inconsistent with how you show up and help them become aligned, you're inconsistent with that, then they're going to create their own future forward. And that might be with you, it might be without you. But it won't be towards just by luck, just by chance, what you're working towards. So I'd have to agree, communication. And I remember I hosted a session with a handful of clients. It was a few years ago now. And the one question that I put to them was something along the lines of, what's one conversation that you can have this week that you've been avoiding?
Yeah, great
And
one.
and I can't remember the exact example, so I'm going to make them up.
Okay, good.
But there was some examples like there was some examples like Mary's not the right fit. I've got to say to her, what are we doing here? Whereas 5 minutes prior to that, when we were talking about what we're working on and what we're working towards, it's, oh, I need to get the stock take sorted. And, I think we need to get the treatment menu printed. But then when you say, what's a conversation you're avoiding? And you go deeper than housekeeping or surface level, and you
Mm,
say, what's a decision you're avoiding? What's the hard thing that you're not choosing to do because it's uncomfortable? It's, I've got to sack Mary because she's smoking drugs, or the apprentice is a lazy mole and I've got to cancel her apprenticeship, or I have to stop working Saturdays because I've got no life and I'm disconnected from my children. And you
mm.
think, shit, that's been hiding in there. Like, I'm glad I kind of dug a little bit deeper into that. That's deep.
Yeah. And the other one that probably goes from there and was one of my points is lead in learning because that working on the floor on a Saturday or can't get off the floor or you're the breadwinner, you're the one making all the money, the clients only want you, that conversation. What happened to education? Like if you could just stop for an hour and spend time with your team every week or a particular team member to educate, then they wouldn't be stagnant. They would actually be moving, growing. Your clients would actually connect with them more, bring them into the treatment room, get them to connect at the basin. Like once there's a thing around touch, like if you have a team member that's less confident than you, because you've been in the industry longer, and you get them to do some hands-on treatment. So whether it is you're doing an eyelash tint,
Mm,
set of lashes, and you get Mary to come in and do hand and arm massage complimentary, the touch or a scalp massage at the basin that connects them to that person straight away. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I think we're not connecting the team enough and we're not communicating and having not just a one-off education, but ongoing and a plan for each team member. It's not just monthly team, it's actually what's the sorry, I just realized my computer's about to go flat. There we go, plug it in. It's the team meetings and it's the individual ongoing education that each person requires.
Yeah,
Whether, you know what, whether you've been in the industry a long time, you still need to educate yourself because
yeah.
what happens? Oh, they become an old hat at their job and oh, they only look after the perm clients and they only look after the clients that, want to go to her because she's good at waxing, but she's never been trained in laser. And I think train her.
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
educate and train.
And educate and train, but and a big but, and I say it so aggressively and what's the word? So definitely just to prove a point because I'm so incredibly passionate about it, which is stop training your team on technical skills. It means shit.
Mm.
So yes, you need to know how to perform a facial and double cleanse and do this and put the steamer on and extractions and all that stuff. But it's it's how that touch is applied. It's how you keep contact with the bed when you're walking around the treatment bed so the client knows where you are. It's the
Mm.
connection that you build through creating common ground. It's complimenting the client. It's making them feel a certain way. It's being flexible with connecting to different personality styles and picking up on key words that the client says to you and then feed that back to them. It's the soft skills, it's the experience, the client experience, it's the relationship that you develop that makes a client want to come back for more. And I always
It's the
say,
client journey that's missing from most experiences.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, like, get your head out of the sand that you need to learn an adaptation of balayage or a different type of skin treatment.
Mm.
You know enough. So, any educators listening, um, I value you. You've been invested in a lot. You've had your turn. Move aside. We need to create experience.
Mm.
Because the thing that a client is not going to want to do is pay $300-400 for a treatment that's been delivered by someone that's as plain as an arrowroot biscuit and can't create a connection with another human. They don't teach that shit at school, and they should.
So, so true. So true. Really
Yeah.
good point. Um,
Mm,
so we've gone through four areas, and I think one of the last ones is celebrating wins because I feel business owners don't stop enough to say, what were our wins last week? Not a month, not a year. What did we do last week that was really good? Because
mm.
this is why we feel burnt out. This is why we avoid the hard stuff because we're not looking back at our week to go, what did we do that was good?
And I think that there's been times where, like celebrating your wins or positive progress,
Mm.
I've felt like, it can feel fluffy.
Yeah.
But like when you stop and you go, well, I had a shit week, or I was burnt out, or I was really stressed last week, everything crumbled, or whatever, to be able to pinpoint something, one
Mm.
thing that you did exceptionally well, it reinforces in your mind that you don't have to write off a complete day or a complete week. There's still things that move the needle, take a step. But it's almost like if our week doesn't go perfectly according to plan, it's a write-off. But you're going to have more of those weeks that are atypical than the weeks that are perfect. So
That's right.
you need to learn about, yes, reflect on what went wrong and how can I prevent that in the future and how can I get out of it faster? You
Mm,
want to, what's that saying? Fail fast
mm.
or
Yeah.
fail forward. Learn from it. Get back up, keep going. Don't let it burn you. But
And mm,
yeah, let me keep going, Maurice. Stop trying to interrupt me. I'm on a roll.
good.
Um, but it's also when you celebrate the wins or pinpoint the small things with your team, you also are giving them examples of this is the benchmark.
Mm,
And you reinforce the good behaviors, attitudes,
mm,
touches, results, so that the team know within that spectrum of shit to really, really good what your version of a win
mm,
or what's worth mentioning. And I think a few times in team meetings when I had the salon, I've pinpointed things like, last week, I loved when you and I were having a conversation at reception and you stopped me in my tracks because you saw a client coming down the path and you went and opened the door for her. That's
yeah.
exceptional customer service. That you go, hang on, because there's nothing worse walking into a business and there's two people there chatting and you're interrupting them.
Oh,
So,
yes.
and that was a real example and it was a client on like a walker or a frame or, had a stick or something. That team member saw the client out of the corner of the eye, cut me off, and went and opened the door for her.
Mm,
Of course, that's the standard that we want to aim towards.
mm.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah,
it's celebrating those meaningful things, even if it's looking at your new clients and thinking, well, that number's growing each week. I wonder where they're coming from. And don't just go, oh, it's Instagram. Like, dive deep into that, like, and celebrate those wins with your team when you think we're getting exceptional numbers coming through the door.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, gotta work.
One common thing is some salon owners, it's a bit niche, but it's if we are in a team environment and we celebrate progress, wins, exceptional customer service. We spotlight something that has happened that's particularly fantastic, and
Yeah.
we say, I just wanted to say this week, Marie has ABC 1, 2, 3. Like you're amazing, you're wonderful, you're great. That some people can be fearful that it can uh, spotlight Marie, but then
Mm,
almost diminish the
the
rest of
rest.
the team and what effort they have been put in, that they've been putting in, or their lack of effort. Or we keep on celebrating Marie and Sally, but the other three don't really get a mention. And I think, good.
Yeah.
So the other three need to look at Marie and Sally and go,
Yeah.
that's the benchmark.
Yeah.
So what do you stop celebrating progress and wins because some are progressing more than others?
Mm.
No, don't stop protecting the shit kickers. They need to step up. That's the
You need
benchmark.
That's right. Yeah. So I think this has been a really good topic, and I feel like if we just recap on those areas, so there's five key areas. So
Yeah.
the team mirrors the owner. Number two is accountability starts at the top, or the fish rots it from its head.
Yep.
Um, Lead into the learning, so the education. Communication is key. I think with the education one too, let's just go back. Education is about exactly what you said, Jay, and it is the client experience, not just the technical stuff. And I think that's
It's
key.
both
Communication, so the conversation that leads to engaged team. And
alignment and yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
and celebrating wins. So, um, making sure that we look back. Like I did it last night, and I thought when we have our meeting today, I can say they were the wins from last week. Did I have to think about it? Yes, I did, because I had to look back in my diary and actually celebrate and look back and go, oh, I actually forgot about that. So I think you need to recognize that from not just your figures, but from what your team have done, like opening the door. So I guess in short, the owner must step up as a visible leader. Like you need your team to look at you and go, she's amazing. Like so, so good. And set the direction, be like really accountable to yourself. And if you can't be, then you need support from someone like us. Invest in your team's growth because it is so important not to have one or two people doing revenue figures that are exponential, but the rest are
Yep.
dragging behind. And that's because we need to invest in maybe to teach them the client journey better when they're inducted into the business. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
you can re-induct your whole team because this is how we want to do it.
Mm.
And celebrate the progress along the way because when the owner leads, the team follow.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
step up. You're showing them how it's done.
Yeah.
And you're setting a benchmark on how you are showing up. Now,
Mm.
I think the last thing to end on, for me anyway, is
Yes.
that when you are at that crossroads or at burnout, your motivation feels not non-existent, and you know that you need to make big decisions. And I think you have to dig deep to find the courage and the strength and take that step forward before motivation even shows up. Because when you're burnt out, to expect to wake up tomorrow and everything's rainbows and unicorns and you've found this boost of energy, sometimes it ain't coming.
Mm.
So every now and then I'll say to a client, shit's about to get harder before it gets better.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
strap yourself in.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think if you're listening to this now and you're waiting for motivation, assume it's not coming. Is this a bit negative? It's a bit toxic.
No,
Assume
it's
it's not
good.
coming and take the first step because the thing is, action breeds momentum, and that's what you need. You need to
Mm.
take action, even if it's really small. And a lot of what you recapped then, Marie, those five things,
Mm.
they're not anything we haven't heard of before or that hugely profoundly like, wow, what an amazing concept, which is good. That's on your side. You need to take a step forward, and then often momentum happens.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's like as Mel Robbins says, no one's coming to save you. You've got to do it yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's good because if someone does swoop in and save you, like many people have had, mummy and daddy paid that loan for me. Oh, I got out of that. Like, you don't want people to come in and save you because you'll never learn and you'll repeat the pattern.
Yeah. And if
Yeah.
they do that or that happens, you've got to learn these areas so it never happens again because it'll just repeat in another 6 years or another year or whenever it.
Or in
So,
another area of your life.
yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Now, is that a new necklace? You've got too much money.
No, it's not a new necklace.
It's
It's
from
just
Temu, isn't it?
no, it's not actually. It's just an oldie, but I haven't worn it for a while. Thanks,
I
Jane.
like it. It's nice.
Thanks.
It looks expensive.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you it is then. Does that make you happy?
Not really,
Okay.
because I think where'd you get your money from?
Oh, well, I work hard and I'm
OnlyFans.
accountable.
Oh, good on you, Marie. You're not half bad. Good episode. Thanks, Marie.
Thank you.
See you next time.